morning. How's everybody doing? Okay. I first want you guys to know that I love the Lord. And the reason that I'm trying to heal the village, Pastor, is, and I want to thank you for letting me come. Do you know he's the first pastor since I've been in this place, Georgia, been here since 2012, that has asked me to come talk to a church? I've been begging, so I'm really excited about being here. He was talking about the cameras and how you need to look alive. Listen, I need you to be alive in January. Can we? I need you to be alive because you all got work to do. I know I'm on purpose. I know what my purpose is. My purpose is to heal the village and to try to deal with all the misinformation and the lack of knowledge, because don't we perish due to lack of knowledge? So you all have family all over the country and maybe abroad. I don't know if we got any of my Caribbean folks in here. I just got back from St. Croix and Jamaica, and I love the Caribbean. But anyway, you need to call somebody today. Can you just call one somebody, because you have one somebody in your family who's not vaccinated. Yes, you do. You got one, right? And they've decided not to vaccinate their children, and that's a problem. Now, the kids probably are not going to get sick because, so that's not what we're vaccinating them for. We're vaccinating them so they're not carriers. See, what people don't get, and I want you to please tell somebody this, it's not we're worried so much about the people infected with COVID. We're concerned about the people who are carriers of COVID and don't know it. Okay. Now, as you all know, many of you all descend from Africa, right? Okay. Now, Africa's an interesting place. And Africa's an interesting place because if they weren't resilient, if they didn't have an amazing immune system, seems to me they'd all be dead. They got malaria, they got Zika, they got Ebola, they got HIV, but yet they still survive. Okay. The reason why I'm saying that is as we think about our immune system and how well we deal with diseases and how resilient we are as a population of African Americans, we have to keep that in mind. The reason why that's important related to COVID is because all the asymptomatic carriers, the virus is in them and learning their immune system and mutating and then coming back out for you and me. Do you understand this? So when I have my 22-year-old say, well, I didn't get COVID last year, and, I'm fine, or I had COVID last year, and it wasn't no big deal. Okay, yes, it was a big deal. It was a big deal because you had it, and that virus learned from you, and then you spread it, and that's why we got 800,000 people that ain't here today. They're not here today. There's people who don't believe they died. Let me tell you something. If you don't believe folks is dying from COVID, there is a funeral parlor right down from my building, Watkins, and I drove by there yesterday, and I'm about to work with them to get this COVID message out. They have 3 a day, folks, on Saturday, 3 funerals a day. If you don't believe it, just drive by the place, you see the folks in the parking lot. Wait. The funeral procession was coming down my street yesterday on Main Street, and there was a car accident. One of the limos hit a car. They had to come into my parking lot. The police came. Okay. So if you don't think folks is dying, just drive by a funeral parlor parking lot on a Saturday. They're dying. So this is what I want you to know about Omicron. Everybody is tired. My friend yesterday, I told her to be super careful because she's in North Carolina, and that is a hot spot. All of these places where they've not been listening, nobody's vaccinated, nobody's wearing masks. That's Georgia, North Carolina, Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. I just named a place where somebody you know lives. Yes, I did. I know I did. And they're not wearing masks, and they're not vaccinated, as we are not in Georgia. We are at 47% fully vaccinated. We need to be at 75 to 80% fully vaccinated. Okay, so we have a lot of work to do in Georgia. And I'm doing it at my building right down the street, 177 North Main Street. We are testing Monday through Saturday from 12 to 4. Here's the flyer. I'm going to leave them outside. Because you need to know if you got COVID before you gather with your family on Christmas. Can we just please do that one thing? It is free, people. It is free, people. It takes 10 minutes. And we can't take 10 minutes to know if we're positive? Listen, when a woman misses her period, she goes and gets a pregnancy test because she wants to know, does she not? Yeah. She don't wait until the tummy gets big. She tests. So if you're not going to vaccinate, can you at least test weekly? You got to test weekly, seriously, because of Omicron, because it is highly infectious, as Pastor said, which means that you can transmit it from one person to another very, very quickly. All right, and it's replicating every 2 to 3, in 2 to 3 days, that thing has doubled itself. And it's up in your nose. It's in your nasal passage, whereas the other ones were down in your throat and chest and stuff. So they were worried about you coughing, or if you were singing from a choir, right? That was being expelled out through your lungs, yes? But this is up in your nasal passage. That's where it's at. So that's why the nasal swab and the nasal testing, this is good stuff, right? Because we'll be able to find if you got it. Now, do I know if it is more virulent? Virulent means is it going to kill you at a higher rate than the other viruses? That's what virulent means. I don't know. They don't know. Ask me that question in a couple of weeks. I don't know. But in a couple of weeks, how many people are going to be gathering together in groups to celebrate Christmas and New Year's? Now, am I telling you not to gather? I'm not telling you that. What I'm telling you is what I told my niece yesterday, because I want to go to her Thanksgiving dinner. Her Christmas dinner. And she told me, Aunt Lenore, I'm done. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I'm wearing my mask. I'm vaccinated. I got my booster. I'm done. If you all have to figure it out. I'm done. And I said to her, well, honey, I understand you're a little frustrated. I am too. I'm tired of wearing a mask because I am really good looking and it is messing up my look. I understand it. Okay? But I told her, if you want Aunt Lenore to come to Christmas at your house and you have 10 children, I got to test everybody. Now, wouldn't it be nice for you to know that you and your family are all negative? Wouldn't that make that turkey taste a little better? Okay. So I need 2 weeks before I can tell you, is it more dangerous? I don't know that. The data's not there yet. But I do know that it's contagious. And if you don't know that, turn on your TV and look at all the people who are positive that are in lines getting tested. Okay. So we know it's spreading. It's up in some places, Omicron is at 13%, New York, LA. Here in the rest of the country, it's probably at 3%. But because it's replicating like this, they think it's going to overtake the other variants and be the predominant variant, okay, within the next couple months. Okay. So does that scare me? No, it doesn't scare me. Because I know Jesus and I love the Lord. But he also told me to be as wise as a serpent. And so I am that person. Okay, because I want to be here. Okay, now my other girlfriend fussed at me yesterday. She said she's in North Carolina. mad and tired about this thing. And you know what she said to me? Listen, if it's my time to go, it's my time to go. That's what she told me. If it's my time to go, it's my time to go. And I can't do nothing about that. Let me tell you something. You can rush it, people. Yeah, your name's written in the book. Yeah, but you can rush it. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. I'm not trying to rush it. See, I'm 68 years old. I am going to get to this 70, which is my promise. And then I'm asking for some borrowed time because I'm on purpose. And I need to be here for another 30. So you all agree in prayer with me today. Because I got work to do. So I want you to please call everybody you know and tell them that before they gather on Christmas and New Year's, they need to get tested. It's real simple, people. 10 minutes. Know if you are positive before you gather. And I mean you test everybody, including the kids. Now, I'm double vaccinated and boosted. All right? I got the Moderna shot was the one that I got. All right? We know that the Moderna and the Pfizer are more efficacious. They work better. That's what that word means. Than Johnson & Johnson. So all of you out there who got the J&J, that's okay. Go ahead and get yourself another shot of Moderna or Pfizer, okay? And you don't have to wait. This whole idea, well, my doctor told me that I have to wait 6 months. No, from my last shot. No, that's not true. Not today. That's not true. You need to go get boosted right away. Let's go get boosted this week. They're boosting all over this county. If you don't know where to go, just call my 800 number. It's on the flyer, 800-788-0941. Just call the number. I'll tell you where to go. Yeah, we are doing a little holiday party at my building on Tuesday. We're vaccinating and testing on that Tuesday coming up right down the street here in Jonesboro. Okay? So if you live in the area, you can come. I will get you guys straight before. Okay? It's very important. I want to take, is it okay, Pastor, if I take a couple questions? Is that just a couple? Maybe you all have a question about just viruses, vaccines, whatever. Is it safe? If there's any question, I don't want to leave here with anybody having an unanswered question. Yes, sir. Okay, so when they made these vaccines, that's such a good question. When they made these vaccines were never made to eliminate your chance of getting the virus. It's the same as the flu shot. See, the flu shot doesn't keep you from getting the flu, right? All it does is decreases your chances of getting the flu. Right? And these particular vaccines were, they found in the clinical studies, what they found is it keeps you from dying at a higher rate. So as soon as those vaccines happened, hospitalization and death rates dropped. And it would have dropped to 0 if everybody in the United States took the vaccine. Okay, but no, we don't want to take the vaccine, all right, for all sorts of crazy reasons that I'm not going to even use your time to talk about, all right? But no, it does not keep you. And this Omicron, there's a lot of people who are double vaccinated and boosted that are still going to get it because it is just infectious. That means you just have the virus. It doesn't mean that it's going to make you sick. I don't know that yet. It doesn't mean it's going to make you go to the hospital. I don't know that yet. It really is totally dependent upon you. I'm 68 years old, okay? But I'm a healthy 68. I don't have diabetes. I don't have high blood pressure. I don't have asthma. I'm not a cancer survivor. I don't have any of those diseases that suppress my immune system. Plus, I try my best to, get a little exercise and try to eat healthy, eat my vegetables. I take a supplement. So I'm doing as much as I can to keep my immune system. And it's important because it's not only the food you eat, but there are supplements out there that you can take, right? They talk about zinc. They talk about some other things that you can take. There is some I take something that's called an immune support vitamin. It's got 3 or 4 things in it, right? So you can do something to boost your immune system and get your rest. All right, all of those things are important. So I'm doing everything I can to keep my immune system up. And so when they told me that I could get the booster, I went there immediately and got that, because this is the way the body works. And this is an important point. You got people out there that said, well, I had COVID, so I don't have to take the vaccine because my natural immunity is keeping me from getting sick. Now, let's think about that for a minute, folks. If your natural immunity was that tough, then how come there's so many folks that when they get HIV or exposed to HIV, get HIV or get AIDS? Huh? What's happened to their immune system then? Right? How come people die of cancer? There's also, your body does a great job, but there are some things that can overtake your immune system. And so even though you had it and you got a little bump in your antibodies, that bump doesn't stay there. It goes back down slowly. How fast it goes down is individual. Everybody here will be different. What they found out, though, was really interesting, and this just hit the press last week. This is really interesting. So for all of those people before the vaccine who got COVID or had a breakthrough case and got COVID, but they got their 2 shots and they've been boosted, when they get that booster, it bumps that antibody level and all of those cells in your immunity system, it bumps it high, like 3-5 times spike, huge bump. Yeah? So that's actually good for all of those folks that have had the virus, because if they go out right now quick like a bunny and get vaccinated and boosted, they're going to have a super immune system situation going on. Yes? And that's good. Now, if you have the vaccine and you have the booster, your chances of getting the full-blown infection is not as high, because the vaccines do help, right, with suppression. But they don't prevent. They don't prevent. There's a difference between suppression and prevention. Yes? Okay, so that's the answer to that. It's a long answer, but that's the answer to that question. Yeah? So you still have to mask, and you still have to social distance, right? And we're lucky because our weather has been kind of crazy, so it's still warm, which is like really weird. Right, but in those other places that are getting the snow, up in Connecticut and New Jersey, New York, all the cold climates, their numbers are higher because people are more indoors. That's why their numbers are higher. Right? I just left the St. Croix, and they have outdoor dining. It's 83 degrees. I didn't want to come home. Okay. And when I go to these places that are tropical places, you just don't see the virus isn't running rapid because it doesn't like hot weather. It likes cold weather. And so that's why in those places I feel safer, because I know that, first of all, everything's outdoors in terms of dining, etc., right? But also I know that it just doesn't like to be there. And plus, they did a super good job with mask wearing, hand washing, and distancing early on. So they shut that thing down, even though they didn't have the vaccine. They're just now getting the vaccine. Africa's just now getting it. The Caribbean is just now getting it. Yeah. Other questions? Yes? Probably just a technique. Whoever gave you the shot, maybe their technique was off, maybe they hit a muscle. You know, when you give it in your arm, sometimes, I know when I had mine, it was really sore because I happen to have real muscular arms up here, right? So it was really sore, but generally speaking, that's going to go away. You know, just think about, there's something that penetrated in your skin into your body, and so your body reacts to that, right? So it says, oh, wow, what's going on? Something just came into my body. So some of your cells may have went up there and, kind of made a little area just to protect it, right, to fight it, but it'll go away. It's mostly just fluid that goes up there. Yeah, good question. I am so proud of you. See, 17 years old. Okay, so you must have cared enough about your family. See, look at her shaking her head. She cared enough about her family that she decided that she was going to do this, not because of her, Not because she was going to get sick, because she didn't want anybody she loved to get sick. Just think about that. I don't know how people do this. I would never want to think I was the one. And you tell me you know everybody in this country who didn't get vaccinated, and someone they knew that they just saw ain't here no more. They are sitting there at night in them dark corners, 2 o'clock in the morning, when nobody else is around them. They're thinking to themselves, I wonder if I was the one that gave it to them. I know they're thinking about it. And I know I'm not giving nothing to nobody because I'm trying to stay negative. Because I know that because I test. Okay. Question. Thank you. Oh, another question. Yes. Super good, super good question. So let me tell you, because Omicron is so quick and it's duplicating like this real quick and it's in your nasal passages, you should get symptomatic a little faster. If in fact you're gonna get symptomatic. See, that's the question I don't know for another week or so, right? Because we don't know what's going on. See, we know we've got Omicron. We know that people have it. I don't care about that. We're going to probably get this virus is going to be spreading and go and be around forever. It's not going anywhere, okay? Because all the people from other countries have come to this country, so it's going to be physically here. What I need to know is what my symptoms are, okay, and how fast I'm going to know the symptoms after I've gone to a concert. So I've been to a concert, and now how long do I wait before I know that maybe I was exposed and it's there? Let's say I don't want to test, and I probably got it. You're probably going to know within 3 to 4 days. If you're going to be symptomatic, you're going to be symptomatic. As opposed to the very first one, it took a while, right? Because it had to get into the lungs, and it had to grow in the lungs. That's a harder thing to do. This is up here. It's a lot easier for it to colonize and grow up in the nasal passage, right? Yeah. So you should know, if you go to a holiday party or whatever, or you think you've been exposed to someone, you should know one way or the other if you're going to be symptomatic pretty quick. With always temperature being sometimes the last thing that spikes. That's what's so funny for me when people take my temperature. That's the last thing that probably is going to spike. I will have had it and spread it for days before I get a spike in my temp. Yeah, but it's just a precaution. We're trying, we don't know what we're doing, folks. We're really trying to make this thing happen. You got to bear with the scientific community. They've never seen anything like this. They don't know what to do with this thing. Yeah? Any other questions? Oh, yes. Good question. The question is how accurate is the home test? Okay, so it depends on which home test you get. I hate to equivocate, but it depends on, because there's several that are out there. They do have some false negatives, right? There are some false negatives. Whenever you have any testing of any kind, there's always false positives and false negatives. So when you're reading the little package insert, they have to say in that insert, inside the box, they have to report that to you. Because you have to know what the false positive rate is and what the false negative rate is. And what you want it to be is, the one you care about is you don't want false negatives, right? You don't want to be positive and the test comes back negative. Okay. So I think that because the government is about to make those completely available to us, right, over the next few months, we're going to probably see a huge flood of the market. I think that there's going to be more quality assurance of what goes out to consumers. See, when things are mass distributed, you got to be real careful, because now you're sending that out. You're not sending out to 100,000 people. Now you're sending this out, whatever it is, test, medication, whatever it is, to millions of people. So your rigor as a company has to be much higher, see, because your ability to get sued because you got a false negative because you took this test but you were positive and got sick and died. See, that's legal liability. See, so that's the other thing you have to remember about these companies. These companies don't want that to happen. So they're doing really good job of trying to make the stuff be accurate. So I think that it is accurate. Most of them, I would take it, I would use it, right? This is my problem. And this is what my niece told me yesterday. And this I don't know the answer to this, okay? But she said, Aunt Lenore, so this is what's going on because my kids are in school. So I'm a mama, and I got 3 or 4 kids, and everybody's fine. But one of them started coughing a little bit, so I took my home test, and I tested, and Johnny's positive. Okay, so what does that mama do? Does that mama keep Johnny home and everybody else home because they're all now exposed and she tests them all? She just keeps them home from school? Or I got to be at work at 3 o'clock. I don't have no daycare or childcare, so I got to send them to school. Or they go to grandmama's house? Well, okay, okay. So, and do I tell the school? You just heard it from, am I telling the school that Johnny just popped positive? Because he's actually feeling fine. He looks fine. There didn't seem nothing wrong with him. Well, he's just positive. And I'm going to put him on the school bus. Okay, I'm going to send him. And he's going to go to 5 classes that day. And I'm not going to tell nobody because if I tell him, Johnny's got to stay home for 10 days. And so now what do I got to do? I don't know. Who's taking care of Johnny? I got to go to work. This is a dilemma that nobody is talking about. This is heavy. I don't know the answer to this question, but we have got to figure that question out. Okay, because I think that's right now with this Omicron, I think that's the biggest thing that we got because there's a lot of positives. And now we're out of school right now, so praise Jesus for that. Now I'm praying that this thing will be gone by January, but who knows? Yeah, but this is an issue. That's why testing is good. I think we should home test, and it would be if they give it to us free, great. But then we got to give you all what happens if, and I don't think they've given you that scenario, right? You don't know what to do, and I don't know what to tell you to do. So that's a problem because I need to know what to tell you to do. I saw another hand. Yes, ma'am.
I'm vaccinated and boosted, but it said that the mucositis was remain. I suffer mucositis all the time and leg pain. So how do I know it's not my sinus?
Yes. Such a good question. Yeah. A lot of people have sinus issues, especially when it gets cold. So how do you know that this isn't just a common cold, right? You're testing. You got to test. And I want you to test, and then maybe in 2 days test again, right? I want you to do a double whammy there, right? Because in that way, give it time to grow. See, there's something called a viral load. And until you get to that point, it doesn't make the test pop positive. See, that's the thing. So even if you're negative, people say, oh, okay, I'm great. But that's because they didn't get to a high enough, amount of virus in either their lungs or their throat or their nasal passage to be able to pop the test positive. See? So you would need to test and then test again, right? Just to double check. And you see, I'm telling you, being really cautious, right? I'm cautious. I am. I'll tell you that. But you know what? And my mama told me to be cautious. She lived to 87 years old, being cautious. And being informed and making good decisions. I just think we got to do that, right? Question, yes? Okay, Pastor, I have taken up so much of your sermon time. I'm sorry. But thank you, the good audience, and I really appreciate it.
Y'all come on and give her a hand.
Thank you.
Epigallocatechin gallate, superoxide dismutase, glutathione peroxidase, Now, those are names you probably aren't familiar with, but you should be. Those are antioxidants known to fight free radicals. In fact, did you know that some viruses are actually alcohol resistant? One major study showed that by adding the epigallocatechins from green tea, it killed the virus on contact. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mark Johnson. I'm here to share with you an exciting new, technologically advanced, patent-pending green tea hand sanitizing wash from Handout Protection. Now, this is not your typical hand gel designed to just smear all over your hand. This is a hand washing sanitizer to cover your entire hand, both the front and back of your hand, in between your fingers and your wrist. This is a non-sticky sanitizing hand wash designed for convenience to take with you in your purse, pocket, or carry in your lunchbox. As Dr. Josh Ridge has stated, what goes on your body goes into your body. That is why we choose only the highest FDA-compliant ingredients, such as 75% isopropyl alcohol in organic green tea brewed with alkaline water. The only way to protect yourself and your family is to always carry a disposable package of Handout with you. This may be the only handout you ever need.
Total Lifestyle Change provides community-based outreach, education, and comprehensive health screenings. Unlike other organizations, TLC provides ongoing follow-up and documentation of clinical outcomes. This much-needed follow-up ensures that participants with abnormal test results receive the much-needed care that they deserve. TLC provides exit interviews with licensed healthcare providers to evaluate screening results and review medication therapy. We have opened the Wellness Connections Elder Care and Diabetes Management Center located in Jonesboro, Georgia. Our address is 177 North Main Street. At the Wellness Center, we provide diabetes classes, home health care services, nutritional workshops, and even cooking demonstrations. TLC needs your generous support to bring our outreach program to your community. Your generous support makes it possible for Total Lifestyle Change to provide our educational workshops, our health fairs, our cooking demonstrations, and our church-based program to underserved communities nationwide. To donate to TLC, go to tlc-global.org. Please consider making a tax-deductible donation today in any amount that you would like. For more information, contact Dr. Lenore Coleman, President and Founder of Total Lifestyle Change, at drcoleman@healingourvillage.com. Thank you so much.